Collector's Optical 20 here for another video review. This time it's the 66 Batman from the TV show Batman and Robin. You know, Adam West just recently passed away, so I decided to put this video out. I don't even have this figure anymore. I sold it a year ago, I think, to my good buddy Frank. But you know, because of his passing, I didn't have any intention of putting this up because I sold the figure before I fully shoot it, so there's missing parts in it, especially the body. But it's okay, you know. I think you're still gonna get the gist of it. The box is pretty cheesy, but it suits the 66 style perfectly. As you can see here, you know, it's wrapped around design, 60s art style, which is kind of like colorful, and even the overall tone of the video, I mean of the TV show and the movie, you know, it's different from the Batman that we know now. It's kind of dark, more realistic. This one fits more of that era. You know, that time is a bit different than what we have now. But this figure itself, if we're talking about just the figure, I mean, the overall design is, I think it's perfect for what it is, you know. But as far as the figure itself, it is awesome. You know, it comes with a lot of, and back then it was pretty cheap. And I can imagine now with the passing of Adam West, that this figure would skyrocket in price once again. You can see there, you open it, says Calling Batman. Pretty nice art box altogether. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, you know, when Carrie Fisher just died, you know, the cost, I mean, on eBay just shot up. I don't know why. Like, no one was buying Princess Leia before, then all of a sudden it's selling for like $300. I guess that's just how it goes. But you know, and I can see the same way with this particular figure. And as you can see, you know, it kind of reminds me of the Eric Draven. So I got both Batman and Robin before I sold them to my good buddy Frank. So you can kind of, you know, simulate a, you know, that scene where they're climbing this house. Well, it's kind of ridiculous scene, but it's funny, and it kind of reminds you with that box, which is pretty awesome that you can actually use the box as a diorama. And as far as the accessories right here, you can see he has a good assortment of hands. You know, this is one of those figures where I think it was sold for $220 a year or two ago, which in part you would think that is expensive, but with the amount of accessories that you got, anytime I feel that a figure has a swappable faceplate, it kind of has to be in around $200 mark. You know, it kind of gives you a different type of head sculpt. It's like having more than one head sculpt. You know, and with Batman, that's kind of frequent now. But you can see that that's the shark repeller hand, the batarang that he does have. So many accessories. It's amazing, like how the value that you're getting for, and to think of that this figure didn't sell out right away. You know, it sat on the shelf for quite some time. I think I bought this in Spectacular for about $170 back in the day, and with the amount of accessories that you're getting, I think this is his radio. You know, I remember before, when I was shooting this, I was watching the 66 movie in Amazon Prime, and you know, this was before my time. You know, this wasn't my Batman. I was more of a Michael Keaton Batman back in the day, but even then I didn't really like that Batman. I never really liked Batman, to be quite honest with you, till The Dark Knight. That kind of changed my view on Batman. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of the style, but I respect the history of the character, and also the figure. The figure is amazing. So you can see here, it's shark repellent. It's awesome. I mean, who would think of a shark repellent, right? Only Batman would have one in his gear. And it's iconic. It as ridiculous as it sounds, you know, like most of the scenes in this era, in this TV show, is pretty iconic. And like I said, I wasn't alive when this was being shown. I know it was being shown like in the afternoon TV show back when I was younger, but I never really had interest in them. As you can see here, the mouth plates, pretty awesome. Then he already has one, like the relaxed one. And as far as the stand, Batman Classic TV series, And Hot Toys hinted like a Joker back in the day, not back in the day, maybe a few months ago. Who knows if they're really gonna make it? And they also hinted at a different style of Adam West Batman, but this one pretty much sums it up. I don't know if you need a second one, but for those who missed out on this one and wanted to get, doesn't want to pay a premium, then I guess you can wait for that one. But this should be enough, to be quite honest with you. And here you go. This is the head sculpt, and I think it's a pretty decent, pretty nice head sculpt, to be quite honest with you. As a bonus, you get the removable faceplate. He also has the cape. This is the part where I missed it, because normally I would talk about the body first. His suit is a bit tight. I'm just gonna describe it to you. The biggest main issue with this guy back then was the symbol on his chest, that it's not perfectly aligned in the center, or sometimes it's off, it's crooked. Luckily mine was not, but it has a padding inside of his chest, kind of like a soft foam or something. But that's the only thing that I can think of. The cape is decent, it's nice and flowing. You don't need a custom cape for this one. It also, I believe it has buttons on the back, some snap-on buttons. So he'll have the option to have it draped, with on his shoulder or on his back, just kind of like his shoulder is exposed. So you got those options at least. So, and this is the kind of showing teeth kind of mouth plate, and this is kind of like the I call it he's gonna throw in the bomb or something like that. He's scared, It kind of captures the '66 Batman altogether with his face, with his head sculpt right here, or face plate. Pretty nice, to be quite honest with you. I liked it. I like this Batman. It's just that, I wanted to keep him. As a matter of fact, I wanted to keep every Hot Toys that I get. But unfortunately, for what I do, this reviews, I need the turnover of these figures has to be constant. And as much as I wanted to keep all of them, I don't have the space nor the money to do that. I'm not the average collector who just, buys the stuff and keep him forever. I have more fun reviewing the figure than actually keeping them outside of the Dark Knight. That one I don't see myself parting with it, but you never know. But it'll be tough to part with them. And I'll throw in a few poses with this guy. Obviously, this is him. He has a hand that you use for the shark repellent. An individual hand, and look at that. But the costume is just awesome as well. It captures the essence of the old school Batman. So if you have, which I honestly do, but I got rid of him. I also got rid of Michael Keaton Batman. And as I've said, I wasn't really drawn into him, and plus the figure isn't that impressive to me. Outside of the purse and the faceplate, he just doesn't move. And on top of that, like, I didn't really enjoy the movie. Maybe one of these days when when I see it for cheap, I'll probably get it again. But I don't know. I just don't have the motivation to. This guy right here with his costume, it's made out of fabric. It's not, it's just straight on fabric, which is a stretchable fabric. So you can do some dynamic poses. As you can see here, this is you can stretch it out. Got the bomb over his head, and nothing feels like it's ripping or anything like that. And here he is, like, holding his radio, with his hand on his waist. This guy, with the '66 Batman, him and Robin, if you get both, which I highly suggest you do, because there's still, I think the Robin at least is still available at Big Bad Toy Store for a decent price. I believe it's around $175 the last time I checked. But you can check again. You can play around with them. They're kind of like Deadpool before Deadpool was cool. Because they're not too serious. So you can throw around like goofy poses, and he got the peace sign on his hand, kind of like doing the dance and whatnot. So you can do all those creative poses and whatnot with this figure, and it's okay. It's not gonna look goofy or whatnot, because that's the tone of the '66 Batman series. And there you go. As you can see here, I laid it out. from the background, I don't even have this background anymore. As you can see, it's an older style that I have. It still kind of works. I have the Robin, which is now I'm gonna have to review now. Like I said, I didn't had any intentions of reviewing this figure because I figured they're like 2 years old or maybe 3 years old. No one wants to see them anymore. But with the recent passing of Adam West, I figure it's a nice tribute to him, or at least just to for people who wants to get this figure. And to be quite honest with you, I know it's fresh right now, so people just want to go out and buy one. I wouldn't pay more than 220 for this figure, to be quite honest with you. I just won't. I mean, I get it if you are a big fan. 220 is not much nowadays because like a normal figure now is 250, but I got it for like 170, maybe even less. It doesn't mean that it's the price now, but I don't know. I mean, it's up to you. For the accessories that you're getting, I guess it's around 220, kind of like in line with this figures nowadays. But that's how much I would pay for it. Nothing more than that. Thank you for watching, guys, and click like and subscribe.